This year's Halloween happened to overlap with Li Qiuchang's passing in China. As a result, the costume parade for Halloween in Shanghai, which took place on October 31st, became an opportunity for young people to express their grievances and frustrations. Notable costumes included one individual dressed as the main character, Cheng Dai-zi, from the film Farewell My Concubine, with a sign around their neck reading, "Down with Cheng Dai-zi," in a satirical reference to the Cultural Revolution. A few days before Halloween, young people in Shanghai couldn't contain their excitement. They poured into the streets, dressed in all sorts of costumes, each expressing their unique take on the world. Businesses went above and beyond to create an enticing atmosphere for the young crowd. The epicenter of the action was 158 Plaza, where young individuals donned their most extravagant outfits, attracting crowds of curious onlookers. Unlike previous Halloweens, this year was different. The energy spilled out far beyond the plaza, filling the streets within a 200 to 300-meter radius with a sea of people. The crowd was several times larger than ever before, but what made this Halloween truly special was the creativity. People didn't just dress up as the usual ghosts or clowns. No, this year, they took a local and unique approach. Some kept it simple with costumes like McDonald's paper bags, while others went all out with intricate and fully armored ensembles or reenacted scenes from their favorite stories. It was a night of imagination and self-expression like never before. Another costume featured someone dressed as Lu Xun, holding a sign that reads, "Studying medicine won't save the Chinese people." He stood in the streets, raising his voice in a passionate plea. He wished for the Chinese youth to shed their indifference and not heed the words of those who self-destruct or remain self-absorbed. Those who had the capability to make a difference should do so, and those who could voice their concerns should speak up. Regrettably, the police swiftly intervened, dispersing the crowd on this particular night. This costume carries a clear political message and is a novelty in Halloween celebrations. There was also a young woman covered in white paper, since openly carrying white paper is not allowed. So, they creatively wore white paper all over their body during the parade, directly emulating the white paper revolution's demand in a straightforward manner. Furthermore, the image of Winnie the Pooh, which is highly sensitive in China, made an appearance at the Halloween parade. Some participants wore signs indicating the drop in the Shanghai Stock Index, holding leeked vegetables to symbolize themselves, as leeks, a term referring to retail investors who frequently suffer losses in the stock market. Others dressed up as Batman. They all represent the system's inefficacy and people's disappointment with it. Imagine seeing black and white deities from traditional Chinese culture, Buddhas, and divine beings mingling with the usual Halloween characters. It perfectly mirrored the confusion and uncertainty felt by young people in their lives. They'd rather burn incense and pray to Buddha than face the grind of school or work, making it a trend. In Shanghai, Halloween was a unique and vibrant reality. It wasn't tied to any religion or Western traditions. The parades and cosplays were new and innovative, reflecting the deeper emotions and thoughts of the younger generation. It was a powerful way for them to express themselves and have some fun. A woman shared her frustrations and stress while working for a Chinese company in a funny way. The alarming unemployment rate in China has led to many young people facing high pressure and low salaries in their efforts to avoid unemployment. A person carrying a large wreath with a smaller one at its center simply marked memorial. It may seem abstract, but these gestures carry a profound weight of emotion, serving as a unique way to express their feelings. As photographs captured these scenes, it became evident that the watchful eye of the police was upon those participating in this distinctive form of performance art. The young man with the road sign was approached, asked to lower his sign, and questioned. Similarly, the person carrying the wreath faced scrutiny, with the police even checking his mobile phone. Ultimately, the wreath was confiscated. Recently, the unexpected passing of former Premier Li Qiuchang at the age of 68 has raised questions. Online public opinion has been quick to highlight the mysterious circumstances surrounding his death. As the retired second-in-command of the CCP at the state level, he was expected to have a dedicated medical team overseeing his health. His sudden demise has given rise to various speculations. Amidst these intriguing events, there was a humorous yet touching scene featuring an anti-epidemic worker, dressed in a white bodysuit, gently requesting nucleic acid tests from passersby with a cotton swab. People joined in the act, playfully spraying disinfectant on one another, some jesting, "I want it too." Of course, the nucleic acid test itself became part of the spectacle, with an extra long cotton swab adding a comedic touch. Even a dinosaur couldn't escape this amusing ritual. These workers seamlessly interacted with the community, ensuring everyone was masked up. In the spirit of Halloween, they made a unique exception, embracing the playful side of life. Yet there was also a lighthearted warning. Next time you're caught without a mask, be prepared for a 3 to 5 day quarantine, with your community reporting the incident. But the surprises didn't stop there. Two individuals dressed as Dai found themselves in the hands of the police, and then there were the Winnie the Poohs. It's a widely shared joke, both at home and abroad, referring to Xi Jinping as Winnie the Pooh in a lighthearted manner. China's internet censorship clamped down, attempting to silence any mention of Winnie the Pooh on social media. However, Halloween night brought forth a multitude of Winnie the Poohs, some sporting exaggerated expressions. Their message remained a mystery, intriguing onlookers. Others donned blank paper, covering their bodies as an act of unity with China's blank paper movement. This movement emerged at the end of last year, striving to break free from the CCP's oppressive crackdown on freedom of speech. In a climate where openly criticizing the government is rare, the people of Shanghai ingeniously embraced Halloween as an opportunity for performance art. Their displays were bizarre and eccentric, yet they conveyed a message. It was a form of silent protest, a way to commemorate or question authority. What's remarkable is that this creative expression made it challenging for the authorities to accuse them of subversion or political offenses. Everyone knew the targets of their statements, but charging them with a crime proved difficult. At most, a few days in a police station for causing a disturbance seemed to be the consequence. The streets of Shanghai were a whirlwind of activity, and the local police were kept on their toes. Everywhere they turned, they encountered behaviors that defied the norms of socialist values and the party's expectations. Even a prominent figure was not spared from their vigilance. This individual, dressed as an emperor, was unceremoniously removed from the scene, leaving everyone puzzled about the specific rule he might have transgressed. Surprisingly, both the actor and the spectators reveled in the moment, displaying no signs of embarrassment. One person's costume depicted a stock market in turmoil, complete with plummeting stock indices and leaks in their hands. The symbolism was clear. China's stock market was perceived as a place of financial instability and deception. People also embraced the likeness of Wu Jing, a famous actor and director known for representing the CCP's Wolf Warriors. Several individuals dressed as Wu Jing, carrying signboards featuring his iconic line, "Those who invade China, though far away, will surely be executed." Recent international tensions and the abandonment of Chinese nationals by their governments had led many to question the authenticity of the Wolf Warriors. The costumes worn during Shanghai's Halloween festivities were not merely for entertainment. They bore the weight of real-life struggles and historical scars. As we've discussed in previous articles, China's younger generation grapples with confusion, anxiety, and bitterness about their future. Many are just trying to get by or resort to minimalistic lifestyles to cope with their feelings of inadequacy. Some costumes were exceptionally straightforward, with individuals wearing nothing more than cardboard masks and black attire. But these portrayals resonated widely on Chinese social media. A line on one black outfit read, "How is it expensive?" This phrase struck a chord with the younger generation, reflecting their concerns about the rising cost of living and their frustration at not achieving their goals. In particular, an eyebrow pen, priced at around $1, managed to tarnish the reputation of China's top online salesman Li. It encapsulated the anxieties of young Chinese people, who increasingly fear spending money and resent their inability to attain their aspirations. Despite their utmost efforts, a palpable frustration loomed among the audience. A young girl passionately voiced her concern about the increasing cost of a beloved brand. She questioned this sudden price hike, emphasizing that it had remained steady for numerous years. With unwavering conviction, she asserted that this brand was a national treasure, unwavering in its commitment to quality and steadfast materials. She proudly declared her loyalty, having been a devoted patron for years. The brand had shared its inner workings with her, even considering naming a product after her. To her, the notion of a price increase was absurd, given its consistent $109 price point. In fact, they were currently offering a remarkable deal. Purchase one and receive two replacements for just $108. She encouraged everyone to make the most of this opportunity and gently suggested that sometimes we should introspect for the motives behind our actions. Over the years, the unwavering dedication had failed to prevent price adjustments for this brand. It was enough to test one's patience. Within the realm of Chinese social media, a particular emoji gained popularity, portraying a slender, resilient monkey dutifully serving its leader. This monkey would grin when faced with blame, humbly stating, "It's me." It came to symbolize diligence and prudence in the face of challenges. Amidst the crowd, another sign captured everyone's attention, bearing the message, "A monkey's life is also a life," evoking memories of the past and the challenges endured. A student in the gathering clutched her textbook, symbolizing the poignant journey she had undertaken. 5 arduous years of preparing for college entrance exams, followed by 3 more years of mock exams, had left her feeling exhausted. One could almost visualize an imaginary banner behind her, declaring the challenge of crossing a narrow bridge, where each additional exam point represented surpassing 1,000 others. In the crowd, some yearned for a future that appeared elusive, constantly slipping through their fingers. A future that remained beyond their grasp. One sign prominently displayed a message in both Chinese and English, conveying the longing for a joyous New Year's Eve while highlighting the harsh realities of their jobs, which seemed to be taking a toll. Notably, this marked the first instance where CCP authorities canceled the Chinese New Year holiday, raising suspicions due to the phonetic similarity between New Year's Eve and eliminating Xi Jinping. Amid the exuberance of young people reveling in the streets, there was a profound awareness that they carried the weight of their daily lives. Cosplay offered them a brief respite from their struggles, but the impending morning would usher them back into their everyday responsibilities. A widely circulated Halloween photograph perfectly captured this sentiment, with a sign reading, "For those who grapple with pretenses at work every day, on Halloween, it's perfectly fine not to pretend to be anything." As the number of participants grew, authorities felt compelled to take action. They closed nearby metro stations and deployed a substantial number of police officers to the scene. Various measures, including cordons, barriers, and separation walls, were put in place to control the crowd, highlighting the significance and impact of these Halloween celebrations. On November 1st, authorities sprang into action once more. They deployed additional police officers and auxiliary personnel, implementing strict exit control measures on the streets. The primary objective was to ensure the event's safety and order, but it also ignited a fiery debate on Chinese social media. Some individuals voiced concerns about Halloween's foreign cultural influence. They criticized the young participants, accusing them of catering to foreigners. The sentiments in the following comments echoed this viewpoint. "It's about time the authorities addressed this event, as it contains elements of horror and violence that clash with our socialist core values. I strongly recommend its prohibition to prevent foreign appeasement and the spread of anti-socialist values." These participants should face legal consequences, and their personal backgrounds should be examined. They are pandering to foreigners and promoting values inconsistent with our socialist core. However, the actions of the young people in Shanghai resonated with a much broader audience throughout China. On Jihu, a platform similar to Quora, a question emerged, asking for people's opinions on this year's Halloween in Shanghai. It rapidly became a trending topic. What was once merely an urban celebration has transformed into a topic of interest and discussion for many Chinese citizens. The decrease in the proportion of young people in China does not necessarily mean they won't be a driving force in future social movements. While the proportion of young people aged 16 to 24 in China's population is decreasing, their economic situation is not necessarily improving. There is a high youth unemployment rate in China, with reports of up to 40% in Hubei province, and young people are facing high living costs, particularly in big cities. Chinese young people are dealing with substantial economic pressure, and their inability to afford housing or get a job can lead to emotional and behavioral issues. the decrease in the proportion of young people is just one aspect. It's also important to consider the regional distribution of the population. In cities like Shanghai, a high proportion of the population is aged 15 to 59, and this can create significant risks when combined with high unemployment rates and high housing costs. All in all, this year's Halloween costume parade in Shanghai marked a significant departure from previous years and represented a concentrated outburst of public opinion among young people. It showed that even in a highly controlled environment like China, public discontent cannot be completely suppressed. Once you open a small window, you'll find that ordinary people can creatively express their opinions in various ways. So, we can see that the spontaneous mourning for Xi'an and the Halloween parade by young people, followed by online discussions, are significant events that occurred in China in the last few days of October and are indicative of the prevailing sentiments before the storm.